Text messages, they made it seem like their relationship was right in the toilet. A state trooper read them out loud on the stand today.
All right, this is from Karen Reed to John O'Keefe. You have really hurt me this time. This is from the defendant to John O'Keefe. I feel pretty about how this morning went down. I know you said sorry, but it really stung, especially when I've been trying pretty hard lately. I feel like a loser turning around, just coming back over after everything you said. At 2:24:17 p.m., the defendant calls John, and the call is rejected. From the defendant to John O'Keefe, tell me if you're interested in someone else. Can't think of any other reason you've been like this. From John O'Keefe to the defendant, things haven't been great between us for a while. Ever consider that? At 2:28:40 p.m., the defendant calls John. That call is rejected. From the defendant to John O'Keefe, last night you're basically like, yeah, what about when we talk about the future? So why don't you just admit you're not into so much anymore? John O'Keefe to the defendant, sick of always arguing and fighting. It's been weekly for several months now. So yeah, I'm not as quick to jump back into being lovey-dovey as you apparently. 2:32:28 p.m. on the 28th. At 2:32:47 p.m., the defendant calls John. That call is rejected. John O'Keefe to the defendant, OMG, stop calling. 2:34:29 p.m., the defendant calls John. He rejects the call. John O'Keefe to the defendant, I'm not answering, stop calling. At 2:56 p.m., the defendant calls John. That call is rejected. At 2:51:13 p.m., the defendant calls John. It's rejected. 2:52:37 p.m., John calls the defendant. It's not answered. At 2:53:56, the defendant calls John. Again, not answered. The defendant, John O'Keefe, you seriously cannot pick up the phone for 2 seconds.
Well, O'Keefe eventually did pick up the phone, but the text barrage, that did not stop. Also, a friend of O'Keefe's testified today that Karen did not want other women hanging around her boyfriend. I'm joined now by someone who is either wishing that he was Karen Reed's lawyer or thanking God that he isn't. He's a superstar lawyer himself and co-host of the podcasts Reasonable Doubt and Two Angry Men. Mark Geragos, good to have you here. Oops, ick, never good when you have a text exchange like that and like 12 to 14 hours later, your boyfriend is dead.
Well, I get that. I mean, the timing is not good, but there was nothing in that that isn't more than somebody who seems to be incredibly, what do the kids say now, needy or thirsty. I mean, it wasn't like, it's annoying. It's clearly harassing, but I don't think that you can make the leap just from that. I still, like I told you the night before last, if I'm picking a side on this retrial, I'm picking the defense.
Well, how about the notion that she seems angry and unhinged, and that would correlate with somebody who put her car in reverse and went 24 miles an hour for 60 feet while hammered amidst this really angry day of fighting?
Yeah, it's a great case if you forget about everything that happened in between and that we've learned about afterwards. You've got other people, you've got people, as we discussed, trolling for how long, what was it, how's long in the cold. You've got people who've got bloody knuckles. You've got, frankly, an investigation that appears to me to be inflamed and prejudiced towards her from the get-go. So, I mean, it's not a great day for the defense, but there were no knockout blows here. In fact, I think you could make an argument that most of this stuff is just, would have run off a duck's back, so to speak, if he hadn't ended up dead. I mean, there's nothing in those texts, Ashleigh, that when you can't get a hold of me to be on your show, that you don't do the same. I mean, how many times have I rejected calls by you to get on the A block? I mean, does that mean you're going to run me over?
Touche. Well, yes, there have been days where
yes, maybe you would run me over, but actually, you've been very thirsty on occasion when I'm not answering calls. So,
You know how much I love you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.